What's up, everybody? It's Aaron Ray and Jordan back again with another episode of Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave us a comment, let us know what you guys think. The Facebook page should be up and running now. We also have the Discord page. Everything is linked here on the YouTube and cross-reference between all the sites. So today we are covering the rest of the Week 3 matchups, so the rest of the Sunday games to include Sunday Night Football and the Monday Night Football game. And then we're going to get into our starts of the week and our fade candidates for this week. So, boys, how are we doing today?
Well, now that I got to watch my first episode of Survivor for this next season, I'm pretty pumped for this whole fandangle that's going to be happening. But Jeff Probst, man, he looks old as hell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, he is. He's old. He's old as hell. But
Jordan, how's your quote-unquote work vacation?
Work vacation, still out in the boondocks. Same situation until Saturday. But I got a lot of time to myself, let me tell you.
A lot of time to yourself, huh? Just you and the dogs. You and the dogs. I feel that.
Yep.
All right. Where you got a question of the day or no?
No, sir. Don't have anything today.
Dang. I think that's the first time we hadn't opened up with a question of the day besides when we did Keep Trade Cut.
Well, you see, when you said we're starting right now, I didn't have time to think about it. So
you should have been thinking about this all day.
Sure wasn't.
Thinking about it all day. Let us know, guys, in the comments. We're going to try to start something on DraftKings. We're going to start creating some closed private lobbies that we'll get some people in. It'll be $5 entries. If we get enough people, we might start doing placements. But as of right now, it's going to be winner takes all. So if you want to come win a quick 20, 30, or try to come win a quick, $25, $30, let us know. Get in the contests. We'll make sure that you guys get the link. But other than that, are you guys ready to cover these games?
Let's get rolling.
All right.
Get it.
So yesterday we covered Carolina, Houston, Chicago, Cleveland, Ravens, Lions, Cardinals, Jags, Chargers, Chiefs, Saints, Patriots, Colts, Titans. So today we're going to start off with the Washington football team versus the Buffalo Bills with the 46-point over-under. Bills are favored by 7.5. What side do you want to start on, Ray?
Let's start with the Washington football teams.
All right. Give us some names.
So, you're putting in Gibson. You're not taking him out. You're not going to freak out. You're just going to keep putting him in and trust the process. It's going to happen, I promise.
It's like you're talking straight to me right now.
It might be. You might be right. Terry McLaurin, another name, putting him in every week. Doesn't matter what you thought. He's going in. As we said before, Tyler Heineken took the field last week. Me and Aaron talked about it briefly. We were saying that in the playoff game, Heineke peppered him. He was locked in on Terry McLaurin. I think that we saw it again last week, and we're going to see it again this week. We're going to see it again going forward until Ryan Fitzmagic comes back from grandpa syndrome or breaking your hip, one or the other.
Jordan, you agree with that?
Good point. I don't think that Gibson's going to have the best game because that Buffalo defense is pretty good. But McLaurin, you're gonna start them both no matter what. It's just you're not going to get the amount of points that you want from Gibson. I think McLaurin should be fine.
Yeah, and if you drafted Logan Thomas, you're probably playing him as well just for where you drafted him. There's not really very many better options. Tight end's kind of dead this year. But I agree, starting Gibson, starting McLaurin. So, on that side, you're going to start Washington's defense, or is this a week you're trying to not play them?
I'm not playing him. Nope.
Me neither. Front seven's really good. Back four are really bad.
Real bad.
So on the Buffalo side of the ball, obviously you're starting Josh Allen. Jordan, you had him in the honorable mentions last episode. He's going to get it done on the ground, as you say. He's obviously starting Stephon Diggs. Are you flexing Emmanuel Sanders or Cole Beasley?
Not if I don't have to. I like Diggs. Cole Beasley, what did he get? 4 targets last game. I don't like those two really because it's going to be a running game and then throw to Diggs type situation, and you're just guessing who the ball is going to go to after that. So that's where I just stick to.
Okay.
Right. I think in a PPR, you could put Cole Beasley in. One thing that we've seen the last couple of weeks that Washington is unable to stop is the slot receiver. You saw Sterling Shepard torch them. I think you could see Cole Beasley do the exact same thing. In PPR formats, I'm willing to start Cole Beasley if you don't have better options.
Yeah. I would agree. I'm not starting anyone on the Buffalo backfield either.
No thanks.
Starting Buffalo's defense or no?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I would.
Probably.
Okay.
We're gonna get probably a couple turnovers.
I think
Who
he does
wins?
have a tendency to throw the high ball, as in like he overthrows a lot of receivers. So you could be seeing a lot of picks.
Okay. Who wins?
Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah.
We all three have Buffalo. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons versus the New York Giants with a 47.5 point over under. The Giants are favored by 3. Jordan, what side of the ball would you like to start on this one?
We'll go with the Giants. Gonna go ahead and start. Shoot, you could start anybody. Danny Jones, go ahead, start. Sterling Shepard. Do you go with Saquon? You got to. Hopefully, this is the game where he turns it around. I don't like what he's done so far, but I'm guessing that they're going to try to get him going this game. I'm cool with starting all 3 of those guys.
So, like Ray just said with Antonio Gibson in the previous game, that's my take on Saquon Barkley. You just got to start him now. He's had a lot longer rest period now. We're into week 3. You saw the uptick last week on the short week, even though he didn't quite get you where he wanted to go, and Danny Dimes took a lot of the rushing work. But I think this is the week where he gets right on that soft Atlanta defense. Ray?
I think that to echo Jordan's sentiment, I'm willing to start Saquon. I think this is the get right game now. I think this is when it happens. Atlanta can't stop a cold. I'm willing to start Sterling Shepard. I think that he's going to be a weekly start until you see the full upswing from Saquon Barkley. But even then, Sterling Shepard is targeted by Danny Dimes a lot, and he's looking for them a lot. So even with like Evan Ingram coming back, I don't care about Evan Ingram. I'm not starting Kenny Golladay in any situation ever for the rest of my life, and that's it.
I agree. So Sterling Shepard always gets separation from his defender, and Kenny Golladay doesn't. And that's why you see Kenny Golladay never catch the ball because they're always contested, and Sterling Shepard always catches the ball. I am taking. Are you playing the Giants defense in this one?
You could. I mean, their pass rush is pretty good.
Yeah, they have a pretty formidable defense through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that if your waiver wire doesn't contain a whole lot of streaming defenses and the Giants are there, I would take a shot there. I mean, or maybe in a DraftKings situation where I think that they're pretty cheap. I just did ours for this weekend. I saw them on there pretty cheap.
okay.
If I'm not happy with how they produced against the Washington football team, I'm not going to take a chance on them against any. The only thing the Falcons really have is somewhat of an offense. And
I'm counting on Matt Ryan throwing another pick 6.
Yeah.
But
I'm not going to start him.
Just
if
a
there
question.
was somebody that was done, Matt Ryan is done.
Yeah.
He's done.
The Atlanta side of the ball.
Defeated.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Aaron?
The Atlanta side of the ball, the side that we haven't covered yet.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Okay, I'm done.
Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. That's who I'm playing from that side of the ball, and that's it.
Maybe Cordell Patterson as well.
If you're in a deep league and need a flex, I would agree.
They're going to be trailing. He's going to be used.
No, Mike Davis.
No, because I Cordell Patterson's the better option in the backfield, regardless of Mike Davis being there or not. I think that Mike Davis starts losing more and more touches, as you've seen from the weeks progressing. As Cordell Patterson is being involved in the offense more, less and less you're seeing of Mike Davis. So I could see somebody starting Cordell Patterson in a real pinch or in your flex position as a glory play.
See that? I have the Giants winning.
Yes, I have the Giants
Same.
winning as well. Yeah.
Y'all have
Also
them
remember
the same
Calvin,
as well?
Calvin Ridley is like wide receiver 35.
It'll
Yeah.
uptick, but
It'll
not this
tick
game
up
because he's going to
eventually.
have Bradbury on him the whole time.
All right, so all three of us have the Giants winning. We're going to go into the next game here. Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers, 44-point over-under, with the Steelers favored by 3 points. I want to start on the Pittsburgh side of the ball. I'm going to say Big Ben is no longer a start. I know he wasn't drafted in very many leagues, but he hasn't looked good. Deontay Johnson is still questionable, so pay attention to that because if he is in, he's a start. But if he happens to miss the game, I'm gonna pivot to someone like a Chase Claypool, who I think could go off in the absence of the number one target leader. Juju, you could possibly start, I believe, if you have him, and then Najee Harris, I'm not super excited about just because I don't. The line for Pittsburgh hasn't been able to really do anything to help him get any running room going. Whichever one of you guys want to jump in now, go for it.
All right, so I'll take this next little stab at it. I'm willing to start Juju. I think this is if Deontay misses for sure, Juju's a good start. Somebody's gonna have to catch the ball there. I'm not starting Big Ben. I'm really cautious on starting Chase Claypool, but again, if Deontay's not there, somebody has to catch the ball. One of those two is going to be very productive. So you're flipping a coin. I'm looking to sit Najee Harris this game. And the reason why I'm willing to sit him is because I think Cincinnati's run defense is a lot better than what people are wanting to give them credit for. They kept Dalvin Cook quiet. They completely shut down David Montgomery. Those two backs are better than Najee Harris. And those two offensive lines are better than Pittsburgh's. I'm not really willing to risk it with Najee Harris. I feel like he's going to really disappoint some people this week, even on the volume.
I'm okay with starting him because of the volume he's going to get. You're just hoping that he gets 10, right? You're not going to get that 15 to 20 that we saw last week, and you're going to expect probably towards week one's performance with him. Juju, I am starting. I got him starting because the injuries, they're only going to have him and Claypool, so I'm going to go ahead and put him into the lineup. Other than that, Big Ben, I'm going to say no. I don't trust him going forward at all. Those are about the only two I'm going to start this week.
To give you context, what I was talking about, Cincinnati held Dalvin Cook 20 rushes to 61 yards. It's not a great line for Dalvin Cook on that one. He had a couple touchdowns that really brought his score up, but outside of that, his rushing floor wasn't very high. So that's why and David Montgomery is completely useless against Cincinnati.
Okay. On the Cincinnati side of the ball, I don't think you start Joe Burrow. I mean, you could if you wanted to flex him, but I don't think it's a start. But I think T. Higgins is a good play. I think Joe Mixon is a good play for sheer volume that we've seen already. I know the Pittsburgh defense is good, but it falls back to the Najee point, and I think Joe Mixon, I know some people are going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I think Joe Mixon, as of right now in the NFL, is a better back than Najee Harris is. So those would really be my only two. I'm not starting Jamar Chase because we've talked about this before. He's been bailed out week 1 and 2 by a long touchdown catch, and that's the only reason he had a productive fantasy day.
I'm willing to put in. Go ahead.
I just like Joe Mixon. That's who I'm taking with that. Don't trust the Pittsburgh defense is really good though. So you drafted him, you have to start him right now. You're not going to have anybody better on your bench that's going to get that production. As far as the wide receivers, you're hoping that you have a better wide receiver in your lineup to start than any of the Cincinnati wide receivers against this Pittsburgh defense. They held the entire Raiders wide receiver core to below 10 fantasy points. So not together, but individually.
Just going to throw this out there. The Pittsburgh defense does not look near as good without TJ Watt on the field.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell a huge difference in that defense when he is not there.
I agree.
Yeah.
But anyways, Ray, go ahead.
Joe Mixon is the only start for me on this side of the ball. And
give me 1 second.
I think it's going to be a little rough. Like Jordan was saying, that defense is pretty good, especially if TJ Watt is playing. I don't know if
Yeah.
he's playing or not.
Oh,
I think he's questionable right now.
Yeah, I honestly, man, against a team like Cincinnati, I think they're going to say, "Hey, let's just go ahead and take you another week," because it's not like a crazy matchup where it's like we need everybody we can get. You know what I mean? So
I could also see it on the flip side as it is a divisional game and they want to win.
that is true. That is true.
So
I forgot about that one. So I think that pretty much covers it. I have Pittsburgh not winning this game. You talked me into it when you said divisional. I switched, and the point spread is close enough. I was gonna go Pittsburgh, but the point spread is only a 3-point spread. And you did say it was a divisional game. I do think Cincinnati is going to pull this out and end up winning it.
I don't share that sentiment. Pittsburgh's gonna win this game.
Okay.
You just reminded me. So for the people that don't know, a 3-point spread is Vegas gives the home team a 3-point spread every game, and they do their calculations after that. So what Vegas is saying is at a neutral site right now, these two teams are dead even, but they're giving Pittsburgh that 3-point spread for being that home team.
So, Jordan, with that being said, a little intro to betting for some people who might not know about it. Who are you taking?
I'm going with Pittsburgh. They're the better team.
Okay.
They should go in and win. I'll put my money on that one.
I've seen crazier stuff in the NFL, and I'm sure you guys have too. So just so you know, in the pick'ems that we play, that is going to be my what I would call underdog tiebreaker chance to win outright. So
Need it.
So next up, the very first of the afternoon games, we have the New York Jets at the Denver Broncos, a 42-point over-under, and the Broncos are favored by 10. So I really don't want to talk about anybody on the Jets. I don't really think you're playing anybody on the Jets. You might flex Corey Davis, but I would not against this defense. And then on the Broncos side of the ball, as Ray talked about, Teddy Bridgewater. I'm going to start Teddy Bridgewater because he's a great streaming candidate. I'm going to start Cortland Sutton. You could honestly probably flex both backs in Melvin Gordon and Javonte Williams if you had them. If you had to, if you're in a deeper league. Not just a 10-team standard, because in that case, I'm not playing either one of them. But what do you guys think?
I think that you got to monitor what Noah Fant's injury is going into the game, because I think he could be a viable piece as well. You drafted Noah Fant, you're probably going to play him anyway. So unless he's hurt. So, I mean, really talking about it doesn't really mean anything. I'm really willing to put in the Denver defense. You can go find him, put him in. This is a game because, man, Zach Wilson hates himself some pressure, and that's what that defense can provide because what did he throw? 5 picks?
He threw 4, and it also doesn't help that his offensive linemen will block each other before they block a defensive lineman that's in front of them.
Yeah, that was terrible. You don't need to put pressure if the lineman can't block the opposite team.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, Jordan. So who are you playing from the Broncos side of the ball?
I like Bridgewater. I like Sutton. Patrick had himself a little bit of a game. I'm not going to...
He's also injured as well.
Yeah. So I'll get to the running back situation. Williams looks better than Gordon. I'd rather flex him than Gordon itself. But they're going to get the split timeshare. I just think that Williams is better.
Okay, so who do you guys have winning?
Denver.
Broncos, yes.
Denver for me as well. Next up, we have the Dolphins versus the Raiders. 44-point over-under. Raiders are favored by 4.5. They are the home team, so keep in mind what Jordan said. I'm not playing. I might flex Myles Gaskins from the Dolphins, but that's about it. I don't think Jacoby Brissett's going to do anything.
No, and I think that Myles Gaskin might be not a droppable person on your roster, but boy, is he getting close. He's not even being used.
Agreed. I agree completely. That's why, I mean, I might play him dependent upon roster construction. That's it. Jordan, you got anybody from the Dolphin side of the ball you're going to play?
Absolutely not. Avoid them. There's a lot of one-sided games this week.
Yep. Yeah. So avoid your Dolphins players unless it's like an absolute dire need where you have to play Myles Gaskins. On the Raiders, I believe we're all in agreement that you could stream Derek Carr if you needed him to start.
Yes.
You're automatically firing up your Darren Waller. I agree.
He's staying. Derek Carr's staying in until he proves otherwise right now. He's got a hot hand.
I would agree with that. You're auto starting your Darren Wallers.
Yes.
Correct.
Are you playing either one of the receivers, Henry Ruggs or Brian Edwards?
I want to put in Henry Ruggs over Brian Edwards this week.
Jordan?
I like Ruggs.
I would agree. Are you playing
like
any of the
Ruggs
running
this
backs?
If Josh Jacobs,
Josh Jacobs is playing.
you put his ass in.
I agree.
He was there today. I think he's playing.
All right, so
He's
I have
there in
the
a red jersey, so I don't know.
I have the Raiders winning this game.
Don't touch him. Correct.
If
Same.
Jacobs isn't playing, I think that Kenyon Drake is probably a viable start. But
I'm trying to bust through these games, but Ray just
I
keeps
know.
slowing us down.
I'm sorry because you keep skipping over viable pieces.
Trying
Slow
to
down
keep
there,
him from
Turbo.
making the bad calls on Kenyon Drake and Peyton
I'm not
Barber.
making a bad call here. You're not starting Peyton Barber, but I mean, as a receiving, he's the number 2 receiving back in the season right now. Is Kenyon Drake. So obviously, if you have nothing else to put in, and you're the Josh Jacobs owner like me,
Are the Raiders with that defense going to be trailing enough to have to pass the ball to the running back?
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope. So I have the Raiders winning. Jordan has the Raiders winning. Look at Kenyon Drake per Ray. If you need someone to play because he thinks he's a viable piece, who do you have winning, Ray?
For Jordan, don't even touch him.
I
So,
have the Raiders winning.
8 points is what he got.
You have the Raiders
8
winning.
points.
All right,
All that
cool. I'm
production.
keeping us on track here. We're going forward. We all three take the Raiders.
Cool.
Next up,
I'm gonna start hitting
we
you
have
with
what
these.
I think is going to be one of the top games of the week, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the LA Rams, a 55-point over/under, with the Bucks, the away favorites, by 1.5. There's so many fantasy options in this one that are viable to start. Tom Brady, he's an auto start for me until he shows that he's going to not throw at least 4 touchdown passes in a game. I'm not touching the Bucks backfield, to be honest with you, because I think this one's going to be a shootout. I take that back. Leonard Fournette seems to be the pass catching back, even though they brought in Gio, so I'd probably flex Lenny if I had him. Receivers,
Rams defense is pretty good, though.
yeah, I know. But Ray, who you got for receivers in this game?
I mean, you're gonna put in Chris Godwin, you're gonna put in Mike Evans, and that's it.
AB's out. You can't play him.
That's what I'm saying. So one of it, you're gonna put both of them in because I think there's gonna be enough work to support both.
I agree. Jordan, you playing? Do you agree
This
with
is
that,
my
Jordan?
favorite game. I'm starting Godwin. I'm sitting Evans.
You think Rams is going to
Evans
shadow
will
him?
have. He's going to shadow him 80% of that game, just like he did last time. The only thing that you need a touchdown for Evans to get him above. Jalen Ramsey stopped held him below 57 yards roughly the last game. He had a good amount of targets, still off 9 targets, I think 5 or 6 receptions, and he got lucky with a touchdown that barely gave him that over the 10 points. I think he's a 5-6 point guy this week. I'm okay sitting him, putting in somebody like Juju instead. Godwin will get the work this week with Gronk.
Okay. And then so you both are starting Gronk. Excuse me.
Correct.
I agree as
Yes.
well. I'm more on the Ray side on the Mike Evans thing, though. I think that once Chris Godwin starts burning him enough, Mike or Jalen Ramsey will get off the shadow of Mike Evans and go to Chris Godwin. It's personally just my.
They're gonna get creative. The
I
Tampa
would
Bay
agree.
has to get creative against these guys.
It's
It's a tough decision. It's gonna be like game time decision because of the name. Do you start him or not?
All right, Ray, who do you have starting on the Rams side of the ball?
That's a good question. Do you risk it and put Sony Michel in because Darrell Henderson is hurt? I don't. Do you keep Darrell Henderson in and risk it and he comes out of the game early? I don't want to.
If you don't have a better option, you do, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, if you don't have a better option, you're going to have to. But that's the risky part of it. I'm willing to fire up Matt Stafford. I think Matt Stafford's a weekly start.
Agree.
Cooper Kupp, obviously, you're not putting him on the bench. Robert Woods, he's going to get his eventually. One of these days, it's going to be Robert Woods. With the banged-up secondary that Tampa Bay has, this could be the week. And I think that Robert Woods is a very, very nice start this week. The evidence is out on Cooper Kupp that he's good at football. So there's going to be some shadowing over on him. I'm not really super pumped on starting Tyler Higbee. But again, you probably drafted him higher than whatever's on the waiver. There's probably not a whole lot better on the waiver, so you're going to fire him up.
Jordan, any disagreements with that?
I got a fun fact for you. So last year when the Bucks played the Rams, both Woods and Kupp had over 20 fantasy points each. The Bucks did not have a banged up secondary. The Rams had Jared Goff. So we'll put Matt Stafford in. I'm starting both of those wide receivers, and I do expect the same kind of production from them.
I expect to flash back to the Week 1 Dallas Tampa Bay game where it's just back and forth the whole game, just going the whole time. So who do you guys have winning? Jordan, let's start with you.
I wanted to go last, but fine. I have the Rams winning at home.
Okay, Ray?
Same. I have the Rams winning.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's make it a trio. I have the Rams winning as well. I just wanted to see what y'all are gonna say in the
Tom Brady doesn't like good defenses, man.
No, but I do think it is a close game. I think that 1.5 spread is that's a good line.
It's the game of the week right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So next up we have the Seahawks at the Vikings, 55-point over/under, another 1.5 spread, which is the exact same as the Bucks Rams game. 1.5 spread. Seahawks are minus 1.5, so they're the favorites to win this game. Minnesota side of the ball, who are you starting, Ray? Or we started with Ray last time. Jordan, let's go with you.
Gotta watch Cook and his injuries. I don't think that they're saying he's getting better, but they don't really know where he's at. So I'm waiting until an hour before kickoff on Sunday to make my decision on Cook. I know a lot of owners went out there and handcuffed with Madison. Madison hasn't played when he started, so I wouldn't personally start him if I have somebody that'll get me 10 points of sitting on the bench.
Let me chime in there. Madison is good when Cook has been in the game. Madison is awful for fantasy when he's got the lead role.
When he starts.
Yep.
So I'd rather start, say, I know Mike Davis hasn't been great this year, but I know he's still going to get me 8-9 points, where I don't know what Madison is going to give me. He had a bad game last year where he put up something like 3.5 or something like that. I'm not okay with that. So if Cook's healthy, I start Cook, Thielen. I like Jefferson as well.
I'm going to say a sneaky start in the flex play is going to be KJ Osborne.
Number 1-7, huh?
Ray, what about you? You agree with the starts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting in Madison in any capacity. No. I don't particularly think he's very good.
If I had a shot at Alexander Madison or Tony Pollard, I'm starting Tony Pollard this week.
Yes.
Correct.
So that's just to kind of put in perspective that people think, handcuffs, whatever. So that's kind of, I think, to chime in on your point, Ray, that I'm not going to start Alexander Madison knowing that there's other options out there.
With Jefferson and Thielen, I'm putting him in. Thielen's right back to what he was doing last season. It's literally like he didn't stop. It's try to go get him.
I agree.
I like your KJ Osborne thing too, just to throw that out there. He is a wide receiver too right now. He's a top 21 wide receiver, I believe. Sitting right there at 21.
And then on the Seahawks side of the ball? Ray?
Is it me? So I think Chris Carson's in for a real big game, I think. I'm really hammering home Chris Carson this week for sure. And then you can go sell him high. I'm willing to start, obviously, Tyler Lockett. I love starting DK this week. I think this is going to be a shootout.
So basically what you're saying is start all of your fantasy viable pieces.
Yeah. And Russ. Yeah. You're putting Danger Russ in.
Yeah. Jordan, agree?
Agreed. Carson, Russ for the next 6 weeks at least. It's not week 9 yet. We got to relax. He's going to cook.
He's still got to start that MVP race off strong.
The biggest thing with the DK, he hasn't really got it going yet. I fully expect him to eat into the Tyler Lockett numbers and take over that true wide receiver 1 role on this game.
Agreed. If you are looking at tight end, like say you have Noah Fant, I'm going to give another sneaky start from this side of the ball. Go look at Gerald Everett to replace like a Noah Fant or someone that might be injured or not really in for a good game this week, because Seahawks have never, or excuse me, the Vikings have never really been that good against the tight end. And Gerald Everett's actually a pretty good athlete. He's very athletic, is what I'm trying to get at. Agree?
All right.
Disagree?
Well, yep. I agree.
All right. Just tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if I'm crazy.
I mean, you are. I'll say you fully are, but I'll agree with you on that one.
Hey, all right. So this game, I definitely have the Seahawks winning in a shootout, and I'd hate to say that because I don't like the Seahawks.
I like the Vikings less, so Seahawks winning this game.
Same.
I'm gonna go against you guys. I don't see an NFL world where the Vikings actually start 0-3. It is hard to say the Seahawks are going to start 1-2 because I do believe that they're a good team. It just seems more difficult to believe the Vikings are going to go 0-3.
Jordan,
Vikings.
It's a point and a half, and the kicker's going to miss it.
On the Seahawks side this time because the Vikings are
on the Vikings side. On the Vikings side this time. You know what? Fine. If you're going against the grain, I'm changing my my Rams pick to Tampa Bay. Let's be different.
What?
Okay? Let's be different.
Okay, we're just
changing it.
Just being different all of a sudden.
Next up, we have the Sunday night game, and I'm super excited about it because it is our Packers versus the San Francisco 49ers. At San Francisco, 50.5 point over under, and the Niners are favored by 3. So to put in Jordan's perspective that he said earlier, the Niners are the home team. They get the automatic 3-point favorite bid. Therefore, these teams are pretty much what they would consider even on paper. So, with that being said, who are we starting from the Niner side of the ball? Would you like me to go? You want me to start this one off?
Go for it. Go for it.
I am starting George Kittle, and I'm going to start whatever running back is starting because the Packers' run defense is atrocious still. That's it.
Okay. I don't know what running back is going to be there, so
it's Elijah Mitchell if he's off the injury report from his shoulder.
That's probably
you got to pay attention.
Not really interested in trying to take that risk, so I'm not starting a running back for the Niners. I'm firing up Deebo Samuel, but all he's got to do is just line up against Kevin King once, and that's a touchdown. So that's who I'm looking at, and then George Kittle, obviously.
Yeah.
Jordan?
Big George Kittle game, I think. He's going to do a little better than Hawk did. I agree with Ray. If Kevin King's on the field, I want to believe, not that it's actually going to happen, but I want to believe that Kevin King just took a back seat to Stokes. I'm hoping. I think it's the right move. Other than that, I don't trust that running back. The running back committee, I don't really trust it too much. They'll get yards against the Packers, but just like last week, they had a running back committee, and they didn't do too much with it, individual fantasy-wise.
That is fair. That is very fair. So Deebo for Ray, Kittle for all of us. I might take a shot. You guys have kind of talked me out of it as you're making your arguments. I might take a shot at a running back if I need it, but now you kind of talked me off of it. Starting running back there. So on the Packers side of the ball, I think we're all in agreement. You're firing up Aaron Rodgers. You're firing up Aaron Jones. You're firing up Devontae Adams. And I don't know about y'all, but I would play Tunyon if I had Big Bob Tunyon.
Yep.
He showed that he's going to get looks again.
That's all the starters for me right there.
Jordan?
Yep. Adams, Tunyon, Jones, Cobb. I want him to get a touchdown this week.
So a DFS player saying bare minimum DFS?
No, I wouldn't trust that. No. Wait until he's at home.
All right,
that's a feel-good story.
So I'm pretty sure we're all going to take the Packers to win because I'm taking the Packers to win. Jordan?
Ooh. Just kidding. Yeah. Go Pack, baby. They're going to win. I don't think the Niners are really that good. They've had a sorry schedule to start the year.
Philadelphia beats them last week if Philadelphia doesn't beat themselves with the penalties. So
Yeah.
Just saying.
That shit, I don't think Philadelphia is really that good. And that was a closer game than it should have been.
So we all have the Packers, and now up on the Monday Night Football, the game we have is the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys with a 52.5-point over-under, and the Cowboys are favored by 3.5. So, Philadelphia side of the ball, who are you starting, Ray?
I don't really want to start anybody, but Miles Sanders and Devontae Smith, and I'm not starting Jalen Hurts.
Okay. Can I ask why?
These are the more the season goes on, the more tape they have on him, the worse he's going to look.
Okay. Jordan?
I'm good with Sanders. I'm not good with any Philadelphia wide receivers, really. You're going to have Diggs out there. Diggs had a good game last week against Keenan Allen. He, other than a few deep balls that barely went through his finger, like just over the top of his hand, I can't really hate him for that. I think he's still a lockdown corner, so I'm not touching the wide receivers.
All right, I would agree that you're starting Miles Sanders, but I also would agree that just strictly for the rushing potential of Jalen Hurts, you're going to start Jalen Hurts. Most people drafted him pretty high too, unless you were like our league and you kind of pay attention to football, and he fell quite a ways. On the Dallas side of the ball, Jordan, who are you starting?
Oh, man, this is always a tough one. Both wide receivers, Cooper, CD.
Cooper has a question.
The running back situation. He'll play. He's the kind of guy that'll play through it. The running back situation is the biggest question. Do you trust that Zeke is going to still take a back seat? I think Zeke has a bounce back game this week. He does better. I'm going to absolutely start Zeke for this 1 week. And Pollard, I'm not going to trust that he, being in a backup role, he's going to duplicate what he did last week.
Okay, Ray?
I'm flexing Pollard. I'm starting Zeke. I'm starting both receivers if Amari Cooper's healthy. And obviously, I'm starting Dak Prescott.
And I agree with what Ray said, and I get where Jordan's coming from, and I don't think Pollard duplicates, but I do think he gets you at least 10 points to be worthy of your flex spot. So with that, who you guys have winning? Ray, let's start with you.
Going to the Cowboys.
Jordan?
Cowboys easy.
And I am also going with the Dallas Cowboys. So guys, that covers all of the week 3 matchups. I think we all are in agreement that we're probably the most excited about the Bucs-Rams game.
Yeah, I would totally be there if it wasn't for
you having to close on a house?
That sucks. Yeah,
that sucks, man.
5 o'clock, man. No.
But anyways, all right, boys, you guys ready to get into the starts of the week? No? Yeah?
Let's do it.
Sweet. All right, cool.
We already went over the quarterbacks, right?
So much interaction. No, sir. No, sir. Those were streamers. All right, so you guys want to Rochambeau for who goes first, or what do you want to do?
I'll go first. I'm gonna go with Teddy Bridgewater as my start of the week at quarterback. I think that, as we said before, the streamers, him being a pretty good start this week, I'm with that. Chris Carson against Minnesota, I think he's going to be in line for a pretty big game. Hollywood, I'm all in on Hollywood this week against Detroit, because I don't think that Detroit has a whole lot of answers for Lamar Jackson, so Hollywood's going to eat. And for my fade of the week...
No.
What do you mean? You said we're going to do all
starts now, then we're going fades after.
Then go.
Yes, sir. My God, you're just so impatient. First of all, way to mix it up with the quarterbacks. I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford. Banged up Bucks. Matthew Stafford is 11 ranked QB, so he's just outside the top 10. But I think this next game, the run game's not going to really work against the Bucks. I'm going to say that he jumps within that top 10, has one of the best games of the week. As far as running back goes, here's a little bit of a stretch for you. Because what the Cowboys did to the Chargers, I'm going to go ahead and go with CEH. I believe Clyde Edwards-Helaire will get it going through the air and the ground this week. Have a pretty big game to make his fantasy managers happy. And for wide receiver, I'm going with Chris Godwin because of the tough Evans matchup. Chris Godwin should be able to go through there and eat up all those fantasy points with Gronk. Those are my starts of the week.
All right, guys, and for my starts of the week, I wrote these down before Jordan decided he wanted to take this quarterback. My quarterback is Derek Carr because, like Jordan said, he does have the hot hand. He is quarterback 4 on the season so far. You keep him in your starting lineup until he proves you otherwise. And he is known to hyper target one of the best tight ends in the league as well. My running back start of the week this week is Saquon Barkley. We kind of already talked about it earlier. I do believe that he has a bounce back game this week. I do believe he's going to basically be the entire offense outside of Sterling Shepard this week because it is the Saquon get right game and he's ready to prove everybody wrong. Everyone that says, oh, it's just his rookie season, it's the only season that he's had that's been good. And my wide receiver start of the week is going to be coupled with Ray's quarterback start of the week. And I am starting Cortland Sutton. He is my start of the week. As you saw last week, the man still has it. He's fully back from his knee. I think it's finally out of his head. He is the number one read there. He's going to be basically the entire passing offense, except for maybe, 6 or 7 receptions a game to split amongst the other people. So that is my starts of the week right there. Ray, would you like to start with your fade now?
Yep. Najee Harris. We already talked about it during the show.
Okay. Jordan?
Well, it's a tough one for me. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't like to do this because they're in a split committee. I like to go with the top. Pollard is a 13 running back. I like to go with the top 10 running backs that are going to bounce out. But I'm going to stick with Pollard this week and say he gets to around 5 fantasy points. Zeke's going to have the hotter hand.
Okay. And then my fade of the week is Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel has came out of the gates hot. I would agree with you on that. There's no denying that. But also the Packers' run defense is so abysmal and so bad that the 49ers have always been able to run all over us. I don't think Shanahan changes it up too much, and I do believe he runs all over the Packers. And the outside of Kevin King, the Packers' secondary is really good. And if he ever lines up on the offensive right side of the field, defensive left side of the field, he's going to be matched up against Jair Alexander, who will basically shut him down anytime the ball is thrown on that half of the field. So I do not think that Deebo is going to have one of those huge games that everyone thinks that he's been having and is going to continue to have. So that is why he is my fade of the week. Do we have anything else on that?
Like that. I love it.
All right, that wraps
against
up.
Kevin King, you're completely right.
Yeah, that wraps up our week 3 game previews plus our starts and fades there. Like I said, follow us over on Facebook at Franchise Tagged Pod. Be part of the community. All of our stuff is linked there. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification bell, share the video around with your friends. Let us know who your guys' starts and fades are of the week down in the comments, just so we can kind of, see who's right, see who's wrong. We can get a little laugh out of it. We're like, I was, 2 for 3 last week. 1 for 3 last week. I wasn't good. So not everybody's right all the time. But if you guys don't have anything else, we will see you guys next time.